Welcome to In the Moment with Kortia, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. And good morning on this thriving Thursday. Family, call in with your questions or comments to the radio station at the local number 318-484-2500 or toll free at 877-464-2500. And you can follow us all across social media at In the Moment with Kortia, and also go to our website, inthemomentwithkortiakuzan.com. And on this thriving Thursday, I want to say good morning to Central Louisiana and the surrounding areas. Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria at 88.1 FM. Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM. Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM. St. Joseph, Natchitoches, Mississippi on 99.3 FM. And Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. And we're on Thriving Thursday. All right, we've gotten over the hump. We've gotten to past the halfway point, and we're scaling up. We're thriving. We're motivated. We're pumped up. And we're leading right up into Fire It Up Friday on tomorrow. But look, we really don't want to lose the momentum. We really don't want to get into a mode of just survival, but keep that mode of striving, going along, and thriving in our lives. Because what? We're going to talk about today on one of the main killers that actually stops us from actually going forth and receiving all that God has in store for us. And look, when I said you're going to know it right off the bat, you're going to see how so many of us go to it. I don't care what level you're at. I don't care what stage of the game you're at. Everyone has a battle with this, so on. But the thing today that we're going to be focusing on is the impact of procrastination. Wow, the big P, procrastination. Wow, so many of us right now, as soon as I said procrastination, you probably had so many thoughts flash back in your mind, moments of time wasted, different things. And I mean, we're actually all guilty of it. I mean, really, we really are guilty of procrastination at some point. No one's definitely a stranger to it. I mean, if anything else, if we could all say that if we called it a best friend, everyone at one point in time in their lives would have had procrastination as their best friend. It just seemed to be with them, say I'm down with you like two flat tires, procrastination being always there. But, the really interesting thing is that some of us might actually be lucky enough to identify in time that we are in this procrastination mode. And then, still others really just don't do anything about it. But, which we don't really realize is this. Procrastination contributes in a great part in actually stealing your dreams. And, when you don't actually pay attention to it, it can actually destroy your life. And the reason we procrastinate, it really varies from, person to person. And a lot of times it's not really obvious, okay? We can get into a mode of, okay, let's just say this, a hard day at work, all right? Hard day at work and, you've worked 10, 12 hours a day, all right? You get home and, one of the main things you do, you're trying to unwind from the drive, okay? You're unwinding from the drive, you're driving home. And then you get home and say, okay, I'm going to just sit here on the sofa or whatever that you're doing for I'm going to just sit here for an hour. Well, that hour turns into that, the hour passes. Then it goes to an hour and a half. Then it goes to 2 hours. Then it goes to 3 hours. Then look, time to take a shower. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and read the chapter in this book before bed because, I need this little tidbit of knowledge to help me on, getting my business started, doing my coaching practice, getting ready for this meeting on tomorrow. And then you're like, wow, I took that shower and I just got all wiped out. And then instead of taking that 30 minutes to prepare for the next day, what ends up happening? You get into bed, and quite possibly if you've got a television in your room, you turn the television on and start watching it until what? You fall asleep, okay? And you might say, well, it's okay to do that and just kick back. You're right. It is really okay to do that if it's like a seldom thing. Now, if you find yourself falling into that mode every single day, then procrastination is definitely impacting your life. And, whatever your reason will actually be, you really need to know about procrastination. You need to be very careful that you're not locked in what I want to call this cycle of procrastination, okay? I mean, it really has far more damaging effects than you actually can realize when it comes to your life. I mean, just think about this. Procrastination, when you procrastinate, the biggest thing that you lose when you procrastinate is time. I mean, we know that out of all the things in this world, that if you lose it, time is the only thing that you cannot get back. Okay, once time, like right now, a few seconds have passed, I'm not going to be able to get those few seconds back. But can I look back and say that the time has actually been used positively to, impact someone's life? And, in speaking to you and actually being a blessing to you right now, for those of you that are listening under the sound of my voice, I can say, okay, time has been well spent, time has been utilized. But how many of us right now, okay, and I thank God that you're listening as you're driving into, work, or, you're getting ready for work, or, whatever it may be, that you're using this time as something to uplift you, listening to the radio broadcast, something that's actually, sparking you on this thriving Thursday to be, that great catalyst to set you up for the rest of the day. And then, of course, not only with this radio broadcast, but the radio broadcast to follow, that's a part of the On Point Talk family. But what are you actually using your time for? Now, I don't criticize anyone. Your time is your time. You can use it the way you want to. But, I found out, it took me a lot of years to realize that no matter if you're driving, no matter if you're washing dishes, man, it could even be to the time, well, I'm not going to say when you're eating dinner with your family. We can get that out. But, you know how to utilize your time to where you can, have a tape playing in the background, CD, whatever it is, with some educational material that actually enhances, equips you to gain more knowledge in something. I mean, you could actually, if you have the TV on, let it be something that's actually going to feed your spirit, instead of this drama nonsense or baby mama drama and, who's going to get over on this and how to steal that, all that nonsense that people watch of these reality TV shows that are out there, okay? If it's not adding some type of nutritional value to your life, I'm going to actually suggest you disconnect yourself from it, because why? It's all a part of that procrastination. And like I said, a lot of times procrastination is not obvious, but that's a form of procrastination that will just keep up on you. And it's going to, procrastination is going to present itself. Hey, here I am. I'm not really procrastination. I'm a mode to show you how to relax. I'm a mode to show you how to just unwind, just kick back. Hey, pop your feet up. You got time for that. You can do all you need to. And, it's just how the enemy tries to come at you when it comes to an individual, choosing whether to or whether not to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior. Oh, you've got time for that. Hey, enjoy your life. Why don't you just go ahead, drink all the alcohol you want, take these drugs, mess around, cheat in your marriage. You got time to get everything straight. And then one day in time you wake up and all of that's past. You don't have any time for that. Now, that's probably one far extreme to the other, but look, it's still a way of showing you just how much procrastination can really impact your life. And, the really terrible feeling about, when you lose precious time is that you could have decided to start something right now, and then all of a sudden, because of the procrastination that happens in your life, you seem like you blink and turn around. 5 years later has passed, 10 years later have gone by, and you still are in the same situation where you were when you, quote unquote, decided to make that decision of, I'm going to go forth. But what? Procrastination has become your, bedfellow, to where you get up in the morning and it's like procrastination looks you in the face. Hey, how are we going to go ahead and waste our day today? Wow. Yeah, let's decide how we're not going to be productive today. And that's exactly what procrastination does to you. And then, of course, procrastination allows you to what? Blow big opportunities. Look. The whole, parable of the ant and the grasshopper, of how the grasshopper just enjoyed himself all through the summer and the spring, singing music, playing, but the ant was just out there working, diligent, utilizing time, storing up for the winter. And I'm talking to somebody in that moment right now, because some of us right now, you're out there, you're in the grind. You're working. You're doing everything you need to do as far as for this due season, okay? You're putting forth the effort. You're going through the training classes. You're reading the books. You're listening to this radio broadcast. You're doing everything that's necessary to get you to go forward in what God has in store for you. But then others, you're out there saying, well, it doesn't take that much. I've got time. Look, it's not all about that. Look, it's only going to take a little tweak here or a little tweak there. But just like I said, you're going to turn yourself around, and then you're going to look, and then you're going to be going to 2020, and we're going to go through the same cycle all over and over again. So what's going to break us out of this, and I'm going to say vicious cycle of having procrastination to impact our lives? What is it that's going to stop us from blowing different opportunities? What is it that when an individual, how we have to be prepared. Sometimes, we have to have preparation before opportunity presents itself. Opportunity is always out there, but opportunity is like a magnet when it comes to preparation. When you've done what's necessary to start preparing yourself, then guess what? Opportunity begins to be drawn to you. Other than that, guess what? Opportunity is going to take the shuttle bus and go down to the next block to where someone's already prepared themselves. So I'm talking to somebody already in that moment. Family, look, don't allow your precious time to be lost because of procrastination. Don't blow opportunities that have actually, been able to present themselves, but because of the lack of preparation, on your part, you didn't take advantage of it because of procrastination, okay? But then, most opportunities will come once, but thank God at how he shows grace and mercy that when we've prepared and we've said, Lord, forgive me for wasting the time that you've given me, and how he just seems to have certain opportunities just to find their way back to our doorstep. So the impact of procrastination, like I said, can just impact you. But look, take it, utilize it, and realize that if you take hold of it, procrastination won't capture you and steal your moment. Get back to you after the break. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this thriving Thursday. And look, we're talking about the impact of procrastination because we don't want any of you to stop moving forward into what God has in store for you. So why don't you call into the radio stations with your questions or comments at 318-484-2500, the local number, or toll free at 877-464-2500. And why don't you share it how procrastination may have impacted, your life. So the impact of procrastination, we touched on about how you lose precious time and how you can actually, blow opportunities that may be there. I mean, it was really funny. I actually smirked on the inside of myself at how, God actually brought this visual to me that I was actually losing out on so many different opportunities just because of procrastination. But when I actually got it and it just clicked at how I just thought there was like no way for me to get ahead in life. And then when I actually got out of that procrastination mode, it was like all of these doors that were already always there, that I think were not there, just started to become visible to me. But look, in procrastinating, you actually, when you procrastinate, you will not be able to meet, any goals that you set for yourself. Think about this. If you got goals set out for yourself, okay, you've got to say, I want to achieve like on this year, and you've got 10 main goals, and your main objective is to get that top 4 because those are like some really big goals that you have that are going to set the stage for like the next 3 to 5 years, okay? You want to get all of them, but like I said before, as long as you've attained, some of those goals that you have and it's leading you towards where you need to go, then you should actually count that as successful steps that you've taken in life. But procrastination will actually come like full force, just like in football, in the defense when they call a blitz situation, okay, and you've got like the cornerbacks and everything and the defensive ends, and they're like rushing in and different safeties, and they're trying to blitz the quarterback to try to like stop that individual, say like when it's like 3rd and long, just so they can get better field position. Well, it's just like that. The enemy can use procrastination against you, but he can disguise it, like I said, and just saying maybe possibly relaxing, or you've got time, or however he's trying to present it to you, and he comes and uses it in a full-blown blitz against you to stop you from actually getting ahead and achieving certain goals in your life. And when you get stagnant in that, it's like almost like you're like, okay, you start to get in this like kind of confused and like perplexed state. And, you might actually find yourself thinking that, why is it so hard for me to, do something that I want so badly? Am I talking to somebody right now? Have you ever been in this situation where you're saying to yourself, I want to do this so badly and I want to accomplish this so badly, but then all of a sudden it just seems like you don't have the energy or what it takes to actually just start, okay? A lot of people think that like when you're working out, wow, it's up in there and those first few weeks are the hardest weeks. So, the first 3 weeks are the hardest weeks of when you first start exercising. No, it's actually that decision to actually walk through the door and start. That's the hardest part about working out. Because after you get over that obstacle, everything else just falls into line. Well, it's the same thing with everything else in your life, okay? What's caused you to stop working out? What's caused you to stop writing a book? What's caused you to stop, just singing everyone else's song when you've got the ability to sing your own song and write your own songs that are out there? What stopped you from actually going forth in starting that business that you said? Is it that procrastination has come to you in the guise of, well, everyone's already doing that business. Why do you think you're going to be successful in that business? See, what you need to realize is this, is that whenever God has called you in, there's uniqueness in the individual, okay? It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about how God's going to mold you to put your own special twist on it, okay? How many people out there are selling chicken? How many chicken places do they have out there? You know something? If you go to Kentucky, it tastes one way. You go to Popeyes, it tastes one way. You go to churches, and my wife's in the background doing a big shout out for, the P brand over there. But then if you go, no matter where you go, I see where you can follow me what I'm talking about. No matter where you go, when it comes to tastings or who's ever chicken, okay, it's going to have a different taste. It's going to have a different crunch, flavor. I mean, it's going to make you feel whatever kind of way. It's the same way when it goes out to a person starting their business. I don't care how many people they got out there that's cutting grass, okay? Not every company is going to cut grass the way you would like them to cut grass, okay? Not everyone's going to edge your lawn, put mulch here and mulch there. And I know my wife, how specific and A-type she is when it comes to different things like that, Basically, she would, I already told her, man, I'm just going to let you handle things like that with people because, wow, by the time, you get through with them, they're really going to appreciate everything that God's blessing them with because they're going to be like, that's some kind of woman we dealing with right there. But it's different things that actually prepare you. So not being able to meet those goals. But look, we need to get out of that mode of saying that, you want something and you want to go for it. And you want it so badly, but then all of a sudden it just basically slaps you in the face that you're not doing anything to actually go forward with that. I mean, we could actually, set goals because we actually want to have this deep desire. Why? To have a better life. But if you don't actually, watch what's going on with procrastination, you could actually destroy the possibility of having a better life. And procrastination, whether you realize it or not, it can actually cause you to have resentment towards other people. And you might say, how can procrastination in my life cause me to have resentment towards other people? Well, how many times have you had people that, you've shared your dreams with people, you've said this, and they're like, oh, man, I'm going to love to see how it's going to come out. But then all of a sudden, maybe a year, 2 years down the road, and you still haven't done anything. And then those people that you've spoken to, they start doing what, God's placed in their spirit. And then what happens? They start actually doing things step by step because within themselves, you may not have actually realized you have inadvertently motivated them and they've started, but they didn't procrastinate. And you start seeing the results that are happening in their lives. And then the devil tries to come up to you and starts to say, well, look at them. Starts to make you think that, hey, they may have taken your idea. They haven't given you credit or whatever for actually helping them get started. All types of things. And then it starts saying, well, look at you now. They just started and look at you. It's been 2-3 years and you haven't. Look what's going on with them. You're not even worthy to do this. I'm sure I'm talking to somebody right now in that moment. You want to know how I know I'm talking to you in your moment? Because I'm talking to myself right now because I used to go through the same things. Okay? So what is it that's actually going to cause you to start going forth to meeting your goals? And I mean, the main thing is that you need to uncover the root cause behind your procrastination, that thing that's actually preventing you from, actually achieving, your goals. And otherwise, you will actually never attain them. And, my wife just pointed out a really good thing. And it goes to everything we've been talking about since the inception of the radio broadcast. You want to know the really main root cause of why you procrastinate? It's your mental capacity, your thought process, what you think about yourself, what you already speculate the outcome's going to be, whatever you conceive within yourself. As the scripture says, as a man thinketh, so is he, okay? So if you think, you may have the greatest thing since, the sun started shining upon the face of the earth, okay? But then if you don't actually see yourself as being able to accomplish these things, you're going to find reasons or excuses to actually procrastinate. And then, of course, when it comes to like your work environment, it could actually ruin your career. How many of us, because of procrastination, or what's the term? Everybody hanging out around the water cooler, okay? And which I've never understood that, okay? Everyone hanging around the water cooler and you talking about this and talking about that, and you're busy, socializing, but you're not doing what's necessary to what? meet deadlines, achieve monthly goals. And what's the consequence of that? You start missing out on promotions, missing out on different raises, and then all of a sudden you put your job at risk. And one day in time comes, and look, all of a sudden your supervisor says, well, we're going to have to go ahead and let you go, and they're going to say the main issue is because of productivity. And you're turning around looking at them like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then what? If you have looked back and you see that procrastination played a very big part in that, because what? If you haven't realized, we've said before, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But the main way, or one of the main ways that he can steal from you is what? Through procrastination. And it's so subtle. I mean, it's basically just like, for any of you that actually know anything about like cyanide, very lethal, very poisonous. You take it, it's something that'll kill you right off. But cyanide isn't something you can recognize, because cyanide, when you first come in contact with it, it's sweet aroma. So he's bringing procrastination to you in this sweet savor. Take this, take of this, eat this, drink this. But you know, long story short, that when you turn around, procrastination is going to be the thing that aids in the downfall and stopping you from achieving the greatness that God says you have on the inside of you. Family, I know you're right there in your moment. And I know God is just really allowing you right now to have your eyes open to see the ways that you may have been hindered. But look, let's get a strong mental mindset. Let's stop this procrastination. Let's stop it from impacting our lives. Let's look at those goals that we've written and had in our nightstand. Let's pull them out. Let's go ahead and start going towards and achieving these different goals. And when this day and time comes, we're definitely going to see exactly how we've actually risen to the occasion and how God's just allowing us to see, hey, now you're capitalizing in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Thriving Thursday. And we've been talking about the impact of procrastination. And, you know, before we went into the break, you know, we really had touched on, you know, how, you know, you won't be able to actually meet your goals, or it could actually ruin your life. But, you know, a really big factor as well that falls into the realm of, you know, the impact of procrastination is, you know, that it would actually lower, you know, your self-esteem. And it really is something that is pretty much it's a vicious circle that happens, because, you know, what I found out, especially with myself, you know, I shared in the beginning that there are a lot of individuals out there, and we actually look at, you know, our exterior, and, you know, we based upon what our exterior is, what type of decisions that we're going to actually make for our lives. And, you know, until I actually started playing athletics and went through my great growth spurt, you know, as a teen, early teens, you know, I was what you call that hefty kid, and, you know, and then, of course, you know, ridiculed and everything because of that. But, you know, once, you know, the whole growth spurt and the whole area of athletics came into play, then it was pretty much to where, you know, my whole outlook about how I saw myself on the outside started to change. And it changed my self-esteem about myself. But what? Sometimes, you know, low self-esteem can actually cause you to, you know, procrastinate, and it stops you from, you know, asking the straightforward questions about what is it that I'm going to actually do to, you know, accomplish the goals that I've actually set for myself in life. And, you know, you might be in this point where you're asking yourself like a desperate question, such as, you know, why can't I just do it? I mean, what's the main thing that's actually holding me back? And we know a lot of times, you know, it's a lot of mental things that happen with people, but most of the mental things that I've seen that most people draw from, it's really self-esteem. I've actually talked to a lot of, you know, women, and, you know, when I first encountered this aspect about some women. Now, there are a lot of women out there that think because, you know, they may not be, I don't know, what would you call it? What would you say a woman's body shape? Slender, in shape, or? Okay, slender or athletic, my wife says, okay? But there are a lot of women out there that because they don't have like a slender or athletic build, they think, you know, that when men pass by them and, you know, it wouldn't have anything to do with them, but you can see women or other people talking and they just might be looking in a direction, not even saying anything about them, then, you know, they get kind of self-conscious and a self-esteem that happens. But it happens with, you know, I see women that supposedly have this quote-unquote athletic build and, you know, the right type body shape. And they get self-conscious as well because some of them actually believe Some of them actually believe that, well, that they have to maintain that so much so to where their self-esteem is affected, because it's almost like this perception to where they've actually tried to get themselves in shape just to be some type of, I don't know, visual picture of what the world says that they should be, okay? And they are actually under a worse amount of stress or have a lower self-esteem than most women that would actually, consider themselves overweight. But the way your self-esteem really comes into play is that it really holds you back. You tend to not try to go forward to actually accomplish or achieve different things that are just sitting right before you. It's a lot of things to where, it affects your personal life, especially, as far as like in your marriage, when you see yourself a certain way. It affects the way you are professionally and how you think your peers will actually see you because of your self-esteem. And really, low self-esteem, wow, it's like, what is that what is in the biggest screen they have in football? Okay, Dallas Cowboys Stadium, okay? That big old projection screen that's at the top, that's like just from one end of the field to the other. And a lot of people, with low self-esteem, they think the things that they have as far as like, inadequacies or the way they cannot, really measure up, it's like those inadequacies are projected on that big jumbo screen for the world to see. But it's not true, but it's something that's just magnified from the inside of the individual. And what we don't realize is that how we see ourselves and how we carry ourselves is actually going to be projected on the outside. So a lot of individuals that say, well, I really just want to be taken seriously by my peers. Well, I'm really going to let you know that in this realm of, allowing this procrastination to impact you through a low self-esteem, what you are projecting from the inside is what people are going to pick up on the outside. And, it's something that it would just take a simple course correction of, looking at yourself in a more positive light. But look, definitely having, low self-esteem plays an impact when it comes to procrastination, because it allows you to make excuses and not go forward for the opportunities that you have, okay? And then you'll definitely make poor decisions, all right? Now, you say, well, how can you make poor decisions, procrastinating? Okay, let's go back to school. Pretty much the best example. How many of us, okay, and this is me, okay, especially when it came to, let me see, for an example, I remember being in high school in English. I think it was like 10th grade. Got this assignment, I think maybe the beginning of the school year, that by the time you got to the end of the school year, the last, I don't know, what was the second to last month, right before school? Well, the teacher said we had to write a book. The book, it had to be, how long was that book? I think that book had to be like,
20 to 30 pages.
The book had to be 20 to 30 pages, almost like the size of a softbound cover book. Like 5 by 7, my wife said, because she had the same assignment as well. And then all of a sudden, you got this assignment, right? You got this assignment at the beginning of the school year. And then all of a sudden, you get to that weekend right before Monday, right before it's due.
Guilty.
And then, of course, she's in the background talking about guilty. And look, I tell you what, man, let me tell you, to say my mama was hot as I don't know what, okay? This is well before you had, like, computers and all of these different things. She had to go ahead and, in the kitchen, pull out the typewriter, okay? Had to take it out of that plastic case that she had. I'm in there frantic, right? I'm writing front page, back page, writing this and writing that. And we up there, and it had to be fitted and, formulated to fit in like a book. Well, what did you do? You type it a certain way, and then, of course, you got your scissors, you cut the paper, try to make it fit in this little bitty plastic. You had to cut the plastic and do all of this. So literally, yeah, my wife said the worst part was actually getting the cover. But then, of course, the poor decision is, work that was supposed to be over the realm of the entire school year, we took, 24 hours, you might as well say, to fast track getting this done. And believe me, the poor decision that was made from that was the frustration from my mom, which she gave me, which I really don't want to ever had to go through in my life. Me being tired, me being grumpy. Now, I'm going to tell you, I got a good grade from it, but look, for lack of making a proper decision to say I'm going to work on it like at least once a month, do a little bit once a month, if nothing else, once a month. Well, no, it's a last second thing. So poor decisions, when you put things off so much, whether, like I said, it's in school, the whole getting in health, working on a job. And a lot of us know about this, working on a job, we get these so-called deadlines, and then all of a sudden what ends up happening? We wait. And then your supervisor's like, hey, I want to get that report from you, right before lunch. And you're like, oh my God, okay? And it's something that you needed to have, with your PDF copies, your color charts, and all these other things, and you were scrambling. And then, unfortunately, when you've made the poor decision to wait to the last moment, it tends to allow some people to fall into a realm of trying to cover up, things. Some people start lying behind procrastination. Some people start trying to pass the buck about why they don't have different things. You see where I'm going with this? Procrastination really sets you up for a realm of failure. And like I said, it's just not professional. It's also in, your personal life. And, like I said, if you're actually doing more when it comes to procrastination, if you're doing more for others, making poor decisions and trying to accomplish so many different things for others that you start letting things in your personal life fall to the wayside, and you start validating why you're allowing things to slip to the side or fall by the wayside in your own personal life, you're going to see not just how procrastination has become, your bedfellow, but you're going to see it how you might actually be wearing a shirt that actually is entitled procrastination. But, it's about, like I said, making those choices. It's about actually seeing exactly the impact of procrastination on each and every one of our lives. And, in realizing that today and realizing how procrastination is just touching you and the decisions that it can actually cause you to make, it's actually allowing you to identify right now in the moment that you're in, how to make that course correction, all right? It's something that seems so small, so minute, but I mean, wow. It can have the greatest impact on your life, exactly, for you to be that positive agent of change. So, look, touch on that, marinate on that, and we'll be right back and continue in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia on this thriving Thursday. And look, we've been talking about the impact of procrastination and how it can really come into play into just pretty much, every area of your life, to be to the point on it. And, before we went to the break, we were talking about how it impacts and causes an individual to have low self-esteem, which I would pretty much say we've all been there, and it causes you to make poor decisions in life. And one of the really other big aspects of procrastination that we don't realize is that, it can actually damage your reputation. And you might say, well, how is that? Pretty much if you keep saying that, you're going to do something and you don't do it, eventually your reputation is actually going to get tarnished. Just outright, we could say damage reputation, but when you procrastinate long enough, and, you say, well, I'm going to have something accomplished by this time, that, you're really destroying your credibility, almost like, you're continually lying, okay? And it's basically, one of the most life-changing things that actually happened, I could say in my life, all right, that I've seen. And I guess that you can kind of say this is what shaped me to, I know in business, all right, you people have contracts, you have to sign paperwork and different things of that sort. But, when someone, okay, if someone verbally looks me in my eyes and they tell me, okay, we're going to do this thing and do it together, okay, to me it's like someone signed a contract. Yes, will we sign the contract or whatever later on, depending upon if it's business? Yes, we will. But, a person's word to me, it just speaks volumes about who that particular individual is, especially if they follow through. And where I actually got this from, I had this experience. I think I was maybe 5 or 6 years of age. And folks, this was a long time ago. I remember being in a, I think it was a 67, 68 Chevy Impala with my grandfather and his brother. And the Impala was fire engine red. I can remember it to this day. It had a black, vinyl top and everything on it. And, we're driving, through the Slidell area, and we were actually headed to a feed store. Yes, they still had feed stores back then when you had to go and get pretty much everything. I know they have feed stores now, but it's not just like today, because at those feed stores, you got things that would, as far as in your garden, you got your fence work and, all that stuff in a feed store there. But then, of course, you went over there, and, of course, my grandfather, he went in and he got what he needed. And then all of a sudden, what was really interesting to me, what I saw, it just like really just stuck out to me. The man came behind and, he basically, my grandfather, basically he didn't pull out his wallet. He didn't pay for anything. He let the man know that, something, I'll be able to take care of it on, the 1st of next month. And then you get the guy said, okay, because my grandfather's name was Paul, and he said, okay, Mr. Paul, and he shook my grandfather's hand, and he said, your word's good with me. And that stuck with me. Your word is good with me. And based upon my grandfather's word and the handshake, he was able to, pretty much set up, I'm not going to go say, I guess, what do they call it, like a line of credit, if you want to say that. But he was able to secure the goods off of his good name, okay, and that handshake. And so we don't want procrastination to actually destroy our reputations. Because why is that? You say if you, for whatever reason, that you are an individual that just won't keep your word, okay? It just seems like, you're always saying that you're going to do something and you don't follow through. Well, you kind of think it's just going to affect that immediate area, but, it kind of gets around that you tend to not be that person of integrity to where, someone that may not even know you may know someone that you know, and it gets into the realm of the person that may be thinking about opening up this particular opportunity to you. Someone that's possibly had dealings with you might say, well, I know that they're, a good person, but they just don't have follow through. Okay. They're not able to, keep their word. They're not able to deliver what they said that they're going to deliver. But, and the thing that's really evident is that we need to, as individuals, and like I said, we all go through this. We really do. We need to stop trying to, put off for today, what can be done, put off for tomorrow, what we can actually do today, okay? The thing is, if it needs to be done today, get it done today. Don't just say, okay, well, I can get it done tomorrow. Look, and like I said, we all go through this, that I'll get it tomorrow, then it'll be 2 days, 3 days, turn into next week, then all of a sudden, you'll get this from possibly your wife, your husband, friend, whoever it is. Hey, did you ever get such and such done? And then all of a sudden out of your mouth, oh, I had it on my list to get done today. First response I hear most people say, I had it on my list to get done today. And then still when you say I had it on my list to get done today, a lot of us, and like I said, guilty of this myself, you actually go and you start doing something else again and you start pushing it back. But look, let's stop being in this mode of allowing the impact of procrastination on our lives to allow us to stop, literally missing out on, opportunities that God has in store for us out there. I mean, it's really something to where to give you a visual, it's almost like with procrastination going on in our lives. I want you just to visualize this. Visualize, and you may not actually outright recognize it, but just imagine like angels along this road, okay? And they've got these big baskets. And then all of a sudden, as long as you keep on track and doing what's necessary and you keep going forth and don't delay your own process, then each time you get to one of these baskets, God has something in store for you to where he's just going to shower these things down on you. He's going to give you all these things that you've been hoping for, these things that you've been praying about. Now, a lot of times you receive these things, they're not going to be the exact way that you've prayed for them, but they're going to be exactly what you need at that particular point in time. But because you continue to procrastinate and delay the process, that what? God's giving these angels certain time frames, and because you don't get there at a certain amount of time, well, this angel tends to walk off and get on the bus back to glory. And you go there's nothing at this stop. Well, you're heading to the next stop. Angels left. You go to that stop, angels going back to glory. The delay that we take as far as like through procrastination, I mean, it just has so much impact. Think about it in the realm of if you're a father with kids or a wife with kids, whatever it is. You can have procrastination when it comes to the area of your kids, and it actually will affect, the relationship that you have with them when they actually get older. Because why? You can procrastinate and say, well, look, I'll take care of we can play later. We can do this later. Hey, we can play cards or whatever later. We can do whatever later. And later keeps getting later and later and later and later and later. And you don't realize the resentment and the anger that may be building inside of your child. because, they look at you now as someone that just can't keep their word. And how do I know about this? My son and I, we played cards right before bed last night, and my son he definitely knows how I am. If Daddy says it, Daddy's going to live up to it. And he came in there with the cards right after I got out of the shower, 8:30 at night, and he said, I said, son, I really don't feel like playing cards right now. He was like, well, Daddy, you said the other night that we go ahead and play this. And then when he said it, I said, if I said it, then we're going to do it. So we started playing cards. Okay, so we started doing it. We played the game. Of course, he won because some game I don't understand right now, but I'm going to get him later. But we played this game, and then all of a sudden, he was happy. He went to bed with a smile. But what is it? Keeping my word, my reputation. But then what? Procrastination will actually cause you to have health risks, okay? And you might say, how's procrastination going to cause you to have health risks? Every single thing that we've been talking about, if you don't do all of these different things, immediately it's going to actually, procrastination is going to be linked to what? Some type of mental health problems like stress, anxiety, pressure and everything is going to maybe cause you to have chest conditions, whatever it is, spasms in the body because of too much pressure, whatever it is, it can relate into your life. But look, the main point as far as like this entire broadcast on today and showing you the impact of procrastination of your life is to actually show you how to get out of the thing that may be actually holding you back. Look, you are wondrously and, meticulously, and, God has called you a masterpiece in his sight, how he's created you. But we really need to figure out is this: what is the root cause of that thing that's stopping us from achieving what he has for us in this season, in this glorious season of harvest that he wants to just pour out blessings upon his people. And look, it's so profound right now, and how I know some of you have been impacted by this and how so many of you have actually been touched by this. But I see exactly right now that, I see how God's affected you in your moment. And look, stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow on Fire It Up Friday. So take care, and God bless you.